Ladies and gentlemen, the London Real organization has now attacked the group of young journalists. Some of them are 15 years old who beat him so bad in an interview that he ran away early. Now, London Real has issued a statement calling them disingenuous, saying that the fault was not with Brian, it's with them. But get this. Brian doesn't have the receipts. The kids do. The kids tracked the whole thing and now are exposing him live again for going back up against them. It's incredible. He just keeps digging, or as my buddy David Fuller would say at Rebel Wisdom, he's the grift that keeps grifting. So I know it's another emergency broadcast. Y'all are sick of hearing about Brian, but oh boy, hey, this is the best entertainment I get all year. Okay, I'm going to be streaming the election, guys, very soon as well. You should know that. It's coming right up. But man, I mean, are you guys not entertained? Brian Rose is now attacking kids. Let's take a look together, shall we? Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, you got to look at this. Check it out, guys. This is from Left Foot Forward, I guess, a publication in England, I guess. Rose's spokesman said that the young journalists were being disingenuous. Can we show that clip of where Brian was getting destroyed real quick?
We're talking about freedom of speech, which is the one thing.
And as my publicist said, I've actually got a commitment, as he said, 20 minutes. So we're just after the hour. So Howard's just giving me a shake here.
Firstly, Brian didn't cut short the video. Wow. He made time to talk to Politics Relaxed on a busy day, and they rocked up late for their Zoom. It's the young journalists' fault. They're irresponsible kids. That's what Brian Rose's organization is saying. Bunch of twerpy kids causing trouble, right? Pay attention to that. The guys asked challenging questions, and it would be good if more candidates were prepared to submit to a grilling like this. So they're going, hey, we had to submit to the 15-year-olds. Everyone should have to. We got so destroyed. Oh my gosh. But it's disingenuous to complain about the time they had when it was them who messed up their timekeeping. Okay, so check this out. So the guy, Brian Rose, is basically saying these twerpy kids, he's accusing these kids of lying, ladies and gentlemen. He's accusing them of not being real journalists, being unprofessional, rocking up late. But guess who has the receipts? Not Brian. It's this guy, this kid. His name's Felix. He's a lovely guy. I chatted with him. Here's the email between him and Brian's team. Great. Brian might want to record on his Zoom link. Either way, 5:10 to 5:45 p.m. confirmed. So it's supposed to go to 5:45, and this kid is here with the time being 5:33. That's when Brian left the Zoom call. The kid had the wherewithal to show the time. This kid is a genius, dude. Brian went up against a kid journalist who knew his stuff, and he got destroyed. Tried to attack him again, now calling him disingenuous, unprofessional, whatever. Now he's getting destroyed again. How good is this, man? Oh, it's so wonderful to see a guy dig his own grave so effectively. Now, it's also worth noting that Brian's team addresses the copyright concern. They say that the copyright concern is just them having to worry about repurposed stuff by unauthorized third parties. I guess they're complaining about fair use there, which is funny for a free speech org. But they apply our content ID to all recorded materials which use our assets, e.g. Zoom calls, vlogs, and the like. So Brian records every Zoom call he's a part of and uploads it as if it's his possession, which it's not, by the way. If I go on like Fox News and I zoom in, that's not my content. They have the rights to publish that. And what he's saying here is that they apply copyright to it. That's not how it works. Also, that's clearly not exactly true, because Brian Rose also copyrighted the Mail Plus's coverage of him. We'll talk about that another time, but I've gotten copyrights that have none of Brian's content in it. So this is an objective lie, but I don't want to get into that right now because it's distracting from the main point. The main point is that Brian Rose went up against a bunch of kid journalists. He thought it would be an easy softball interview, and now he's spinning it as, more candidates should be prepared to submit to a grilling like this. He calls his interview a grilling and then says that it's not his fault he ran away. The kid screwed up. That turned out to be a lie. The kids have a receipt. How does this guy have any credibility left? You're out attacking kids. You're attacking kids. Oh man, this is just, it's too rich, man. I don't know where it goes here for Brian, but I don't know how anyone could watch this and think this is professional. But either way, guys, just go subscribe to the Politics Relax channel. They're doing great work and really proud of them. they may be the ones to take down Brian. Like, it wasn't me. It wasn't Rebel Wisdom. It wasn't any of us. So yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I know what you mean. This ain't what it seemed. Nothing but a trick, trying to sell me on a dream, but that was where you lost me. Wake up and smell the coffee.
The creators of SafeMoon have been indicted. One of them has been arrested, and it's a lot worse than we thought. Now, I have the indictment right here in front of me, and let me say, I have chills looking at this. We've been calling out SafeMoon for over 2 years. This is my 8th video on them, so I can't express how vindicating it is to see this. And before we go further, I just have to thank you guys. Without your support, helping shine a light on this, I truly don't think this would have happened, and I think I would have been sued into oblivion by now. So thank you. I don't want to get too sappy here. Let's just jump into this indictment. Our top suspects on the page: United States of America against Braden John Caroni, Kyle Nagy, Thomas Smith. You guys know those are our top 3 suspects as well. We have over 2 hours of video dedicated to them, and now they're going down. Now, also attached to the court docket is a notice of Thomas Smith's arrest already. But we also have an announcement that John Caroni has also been arrested in Utah, while Kyle Nagy is still on the run, but I'm sure he'll be found eventually. But let's see the charges. It looks like they're conspiracy to commit securities fraud. Nice. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Very good. And conspiracy to commit money laundering. Very spicy. So these are not huge surprises from us. As I reflect on this, though, I remember that they actually sent me something threatening me. They sent me this cease and desist. They were going to sue me. They told me I was going to go to jail. That violation of the statute of causing them emotional distress is punishable by up to 5 years in prison. I still have that set aside. Probably I'm going to frame it. But I'm just struck by the irony that now it looks like they're the ones who are going to go to jail. Now, I'm going to try to keep this from being too much of a victory lap here. We're going to talk about the main meat of this indictment. So obviously, a lot of this won't be a huge surprise. Obviously, SafeMoon advertised itself as a safe investment vehicle because of their liquidity pool, which was supposed to be locked forever. It wasn't. As we've covered in detail, it was used as a piggy bank by Kyle Nagy, Thomas Smith, and John Caroni for whatever they wanted. According to this, they talked about buying luxury vehicles. Obviously, they did some of that. But this indictment also shows the conspiracy side of things goes further than we knew. Back in March 16th, 2021, Nagy asked John Caroni, quote, "Should we be honest with the team about pulling out of the liquidity pool for the project now?" Now, Caroni responds to this. Let's draft up a statement. Thomas, you and I need to talk about how to message that properly. So they're saying right there, we haven't been honest. Maybe we should be honest. We got to talk about how to break it to people that we can dip our hands in the cookie jar here. But instead of actually telling people this, Caroni then said they should, quote, update the SafeMoon white paper and call it a day. In other words, just silently update it, which they did. And then the next day, Caroni messaged Thomas Smith, make sure you specify we won't touch the liquidity pool, which of course, as we know, was a lie. Now, despite internally saying they should be honest, they weren't. Instead, they tried to slowly change their wording so that no one would notice what they were doing, which is robbing everyone. Now, we documented these slowly changing public statements a year ago, but without all the back-end communications, now that we have that, it looks a lot more sinister. Here's that clip. The money's locked up. It's right there in the README. It's automatically locked up. Or wait, was it auto-locking? Because I kind of read that too. Oh, that's probably the same thing. Unless it wasn't locked at all. Uh-oh, this is confusing. SafeMoon appears to be contradicting itself. Maybe we should go to the CEO of SafeMoon so he can explain it once and for all.
So the LP lock is automated, not automatic. Automated and automatic are not the same thing.
That didn't help. Well, maybe we go to the source code that they copied from B token
and figure out what's really going on here. Surely B token wasn't a rug pull.
So we have this B token code, and B was kind of a smaller rug pull.
Oh, well, that's even worse. How are we getting out of this one, fellas?
Our big difference, you're going to find that we're never going to rug.
Okay, so now the picture is complete. We knew that they were lying to customers and privately changing, the messaging. But now knowing they conspired to do it, to hide it from the public, I think that's what's so interesting there. Hence the conspiracy charges, because they talked about it privately and organized this whole thing. Now, I actually have some other news for you guys. The FBI aren't the only people going after them today. We also have the SEC drafting a complaint today against, you guessed it, SafeMoon US LLC, Kyle Nagy, Braden John Caroni, and Thomas Smith. So they're also going after them for fraud. You guessed it. So there's a lot here in this one as well. A lot of interesting tidbits. We have John Caroni engaging in 227,000 wash trades, apparently, which is where you buy and sell something at the same time for the same price. Basically, it's like creating false volume on a token. And making it seem like it's more popular than it is. In addition to that, they also broke down how much money was stolen by our 3 alleged criminals. So according to this table, Caroni stole $54 million from their locked liquidity pool in BNB. Thomas Smith took $77 million. They took even more in the form of SafeMoon tokens. So for that, and millions of other reasons, our boys here, I'm happy to finally say, after 2 years, are joining the wall of shame where our criminals go when they've been finally indicted. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Smith, Kyle Nagy, John Caroni, we got him.
There was just always that voice that was like, hey, like there could be something else out there.
Hey, you want to make some money?
Hey, you want to be on a beach every day of your life selling stuff off of a laptop? And I'm like, I feel like this might be too good to be true. But you have me sold, so tell me more. So
can I ask you? You said that he swiped one too many times. Was it common for people to put these machines on a credit card?
Oh yeah.
I just had a chill go down my spine when you said that.
Get the machine. Like, you'll make the money back. You got to believe. You have to
swipe it, baby.
Swipe it down, baby. Yeah, that's exactly how it was.
Welcome to Fake Guru. Welcome to Coffeezilla. Today we're talking about Kangen water. We have Eddie here. You wanted to come on and tell us your experience. So tell us what's going on.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on your wonderful show here.
Sure thing.
I guess I'd like to start off. Once I kind of realized, for the most part, like what a scam was. The Nigerian prince and all those things. Like, it seemed like you could kind of stay away from that. But like, the smarter the scammer became, the more difficult it was to deter.
They've evolved, dude. They've evolved.
They have. And that's the hardest thing to, like, sometimes you just, I don't know, they're in the same skin, you just can't pick them out all the time. So, so for me, when I transitioned, out of the military, I started.
Well, wait, let's start with a little background. So you were in the military.
Oh yeah.
Right?
So I was in the military, and I was in the military for a couple of years. Mostly
branch?
Army. Yeah. I was a combat engineer, so like we would go and play with demolitions and blow stuff up and stuff like that. So it was
nice.
It was a pretty sweet job.
And thank you for your service, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Appreciate it.
And actually, prior to that, which kind of pushed me towards getting into this in the first place, I went to culinary school, and after culinary school, I thought, okay, so I kind of want to, get into a restaurant, kind of work my way up and, do all of that and maybe have a restaurant, whatnot. But then, like, things changed, life shifted and whatnot. And then I left, I joined. And
hold on. Help
after-
us get into your mind. People want to know who Eddie is for a second. You went to culinary school, then became a combat engineer. That's a rare breed. I don't think there are many of those.
All right.
You out there.
So one of the things that made it, I guess, difficult. A lot of people thought that I did that backwards, which to me made sense when they said it. But then, at the time I thought, well, like I was going to join anyway. I guess I just went to school first. Because usually, you'd like go to the military and then you get out and then you go to school and do something. But then I did it before and then I joined and then people were like, why'd you do that? You're paying for it yourself. I'm like, I don't know. I like to cook. Like, what do you want from me? But yeah, so and actually before I even went to culinary school, I was a wildland firefighter. So when I was fresh out of high school, my buddy's dad, he owned a company and he was like, hey, you guys want to come out on the trail with us? Like, we're going to make a ton of good money. And it was doing wildland firefighting. And so we went out there and we were like, off deep in the woods, just around like 1,000-acre forest fire. And
isn't that like super dangerous?
Yeah, there's like the few seasons that I worked out there, there's like a handful of people that died while I was out there. I mean, not like people that I was with, but like in like the general, I guess, area of the, in the state or whatever.
Right now, you're holding the record for the most unique job history that I've ever heard.
Yeah, I guess I wanted to be a jack of all trades. I don't know. Whatever.
Scammed by one.
Scammed by one. So then I ended up, I did that, then went to school, and then joined the military. And then after that, I got out, and I just decided, well, all of my experience is, still in the kitchen. And so I went back and started cooking again. But then
for a restaurant or?
So for restaurants, and then I also worked for a company called Hy-Vee. Do you guys have Hy-Vee out there? No? Like, it's kind of like Safeway. Do you have Safeway out there?
Oh, like a grocery store.
Yeah, it's a grocery store.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like one of the like store chefs. So like I would go out and I do demonstrations of food and things like that. And probably a year into it, I really liked my job, and I guess, I mean, honestly, I was having like a good amount of fun, but then at the same time, there was just always that voice that was like, hey, like there could be something else out there.
Hey, you want to make some money?
Hey, you want to see a dead body? Yeah, that's pretty much, that's how it was. And I kept telling myself, like, I don't know if I just don't have that personality, like I'm just not the salesman. Like my dad was a salesman, but I never could be, because I don't know, like I'm persuasive with charm. I'm not persuasive with,
I feel charmed finesse. Already.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was about a year into this job, and then I decided, well, like I kind of want to look for something else. And I was on Facebook, like I was saying, and there was like some ad that I came across, and in the ad, the guy essentially, they didn't say, like the ads that you see a lot now are like, Amazon, selling on Amazon, the FBA, or like drop shipping, or a lot of, stock trading and stuff like that. And in the ad that I saw, it was like really, really vague. And they essentially just said like, hey, you want to be on a beach every day of your life, selling stuff off of a laptop? And I'm like, I feel like this might be too good to be true. but you have me sold. So tell me more. So, so eventually, and I actually ended up saving like the page that it was on, so I could go back to it to check it. And a couple of days later, I went back and I was like, oh man, okay, let's take a look at it. So I go in, and then there was it was essentially like you sit in on a webinar, and it was not like the master class, but it was like they called it like the what is that, like the mastermind group, right? And so
master something,
master of none, yeah. And so you'd go in there, and they'd give you the spiel of what they're trying to do, and really it just came down to like they're selling hope / freedom / probably a product that maybe you could sell if you were good enough.
Wait, so at this point, you really don't even know what they're selling.
No. So that's
amazing to me.
Honestly,
that's so mind blowing.
That's the biggest thing that I was like, in the beginning, I thought, oh man, like whatever it is, as long as I can sell something, like then I can make money selling whatever. Like I'll be selling something, whatever.
Sure.
But then because they were so vague, it ended up being like, there were a lot of people that were like, wait a minute. Cause so in the webinars, they have like a little chat bar, and in the chat bar, there'd be people typing, and they're like, everybody get out. It's an MLM. Like it's a pyramid scheme. Get out of here. And the people running the video, they're like, all right, if we see anyone say pyramid scheme again, like we're just going to start banning all of you.
We're going to have to close this chat down. No way.
It was like,
that's a bad sign. Whenever you have to censor the comments to say, don't say pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
That is a very bad sign.
Yeah. It didn't make any sense, because like when they were saying that, they're like, they started calling on some of the other people that were like already in it. They're like, hey, go there and shame them. Like, get them out. Like, they can't be doing that. Like, don't let them say that stuff.
That's horrible.
All of us innocent people, right? All of us hardworking, innocent Americans were like, hey, like, can you just tell us what we're selling? Like, tell me what it is.
It's so funny because like that is such a uniquely MLM thing. Like I can't think of another product, even like gurus and stuff like that. They tell you what you're selling.
Yeah.
MLMs are so weird like that, aren't they? I've been to a few MLM seminars, and trying to get them to explain their compensation plan and how you actually get paid is so convoluted. It's like pulling teeth. It's impossible.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, so like when I finally got to like the meat of it, right? The only time that you knew what you were going to sell is after you bought what you were going to sell. So you had to buy into it, and then you could start selling it. Yeah.
That's so weird, dude. Come on.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how much of a fool I was. Probably good enough of one, but it ended up that I got on a call, and it was pretty much an interview, and the guy that I talked to, he made it seem like it was an actual interview, and so he was talking about, oh, hey, like, are you sure that you can commit to something like this? Like, this is really going to change your life, man. Like, this is going to be crazy, man.
Hey, Eddie, are you sure you can handle this much money? I don't know if you can handle it, man. I don't know if you can handle so much money in your pocket. Be careful, because some people say, yes, they're not ready for this level of money. It changes people. And you're like,
you fly your own personal jet. Can you do that? Yes, I'm up to the task. Let's do it. So, so I get through the phone process, and finally, they give you the spiel of like, okay, we have this line of products. You can purchase one, which was, it was called the Ukon, which essentially was just a pill, like a supplement pill.
To be clear, you've now figured out that it's Kangen water. You've looked this thing up?
So no, because as he was selling it to me, like in the phone call, the only time that I found out what it was as he was like, hey, look at this. And then he started shooting all these facts. and it was a 25-minute phone call. And so he pretty much made it seem like, he gave the scarcity mentality, to me, like, oh, hey, we only got this, much time on the phone call. Like, we really got to get through this. And so when he explained what it was, then like that was the first time that I even knew what the product actually was, when he told me what I was buying. And so
that's so bizarre to me. And when you got pitched this, had you ever been pitched an MLM before? Like, did you know what you were dealing with? Have you ever been in an MLM?
So honestly, not exactly. So in the beginning, I thought, I thought that I could, like I said before, like stay away from, scams like that, or, the Nigerian prince type of deal.
Everyone thinks that.
And see, that's what I said. Once they, evolve and they know what to push on you, what to look for, then they kind of know how to sell it to you.
Yes.
And so once I find out that it's actually like you are under a person, they become your mentor, and then that person has a mentor, and then that person has a mentor, and then it goes on and on and on, up until the CEO or whoever, and he's pretty much like, looking at his numbers like, oh, cool, we made this many millions, like, awesome, going back to the pool, like it's no big deal to him. But for all the people like, underneath, especially the people starting out, then it's like, it just seems like an impossible, hill to climb, because like nobody's going to buy the machine.
Well, many critics of MLM would say that is by design. It's to make money for the people at the top and not much money for people at the bottom.
Yeah. And
like 99% of people in most MLMs don't make money. I mean, there have been studies done on this. And, at this point, when you buy in, you're just looking for a way out of what you're kind of like humdrum job. And you're thinking, I got to find a way to make more money, or.
So pretty much, yeah. Like I was actually freshly married at the time. And so then I was like,
these details, dude, you're so slow to give details.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Are you still married?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So
is there any relation? I'm sorry to hear that, by the way. Is there any relation, or it was totally separate issues?
What do you mean? Like between
the MLM and things not working?
Oh, somewhat. And
really?
I mean, yeah, really it kind of put like an unnecessary stressor on a lot of things, I
feel kind of bad for asking. We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
No. It's cool. So really, because, so freshly being married, and then I was like, man, I really need to figure some stuff out and try and take some, find a new avenue of, making that sweet millionaire bank, like however I can, which obviously doesn't exist like that. But I was like 24, so I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. But so I buy into it, and once I do, then really the price of things and like all the costs for the products and stuff like that, like it all kind of starts to escalate, right? Once I get to the point of breaking like the $2,000 threshold, it became like, okay, I kind of want to pursue this full time. And so I left the job that I had.
And you spent $2,000.
Right.
And you quit your job because of that. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
No, not because of the $2,000, but because of like I felt like I needed to spend more time on.
Oh, you were committing.
Right. I was just committing more, of myself to it. And so what I pretty much did was,
Did your team tell you to do that? Your little hype team that was with you? They were like, hey,
oh man,
Eddie,
oh,
quit your job,
geez.
Eddie. You're not going to be
You
serious until you quit your job, Eddie.
you should have seen some of the chats, man. So some
Yeah,
of
tell
it
me
was,
about them. Tell me about them.
So some of it was like, so people will come in fresh, and like, even it's so weird because like, even only being a few weeks into it, you know, somebody new comes in and they're like, welcome this person, like they just bought in at this level or whatever. And I'm like, oh man, they don't know anything yet. Like this is, oh, I can't wait. And the worst part is I still didn't know anything. Like, what did I know? Nothing. We were all dummies. But in the chats, a lot of the time it was like, oh yeah, man, working to fire my boss. Like that's the whole point of, you know, doing all this. Financial freedom for everybody. But then slowly, one by one, sure enough, people start kind of dropping off, and people are like one guy became homeless and he was living in his car, and then like he just wasn't on Facebook anymore. Like he was just gone. Like I don't know. Like he was just gone.
Did he drink too much Kangen water? What happened to him?
I don't know. My best guess is he swiped one too many times and had no swipes left, and
Really?
And was I feel like sometimes, you know, in times of desperation, you'll kind of do whatever you need to
Right.
keep, you know, making yourself believe that it's going to work.
Right.
And in some of the webinars, it was funny because they would do this thing where they'd be like, you know, hey, you got to figure out like how, you know, we need to sell, like we need to do this, you know, we need to keep bringing people in. Like that's how you build your team. That's how you build wealth. And everything, by the way, was based on this like crazy system where you'd go from like, it was an alphanumeric system where you'd go like 1A to 2A to, you know, so on and so forth up to like 6. And then they'd start mixing in dashes and stuff. And it was like, there were a lot of levels, you know, to climb up to. But apparently like at the top of the mountain, you would get a check for the rest of your life, even if you just stopped selling stuff. So everyone was trying to shoot for that. Right.
Can I ask you, you said that he swiped one too many times. Was it common for people to put these machines on their credit card?
Oh yeah. I
just had a chill go down my spine when you said that.
But see, that's the thing. Like it wasn't only cards. They were like, they would try and get you to just like take out loans too. Like any way that you could run credit, get the machine. Like you'll make the money back. You got to believe. You have to
swipe it, baby.
Swipe it down, baby. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. And that was like, honestly, that was one of the things that was.
Hold on, pick your mic back up. You just knocked your mic down a little bit.
Cool. Got it?
Thanks. Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, okay. That's perfect. Sorry about that.
And really, that was one of the things that kind of made it a little scary, because once you see people like they start dropping off and you're like, man, either, so I had seen this firsthand, either the switch flips to the position of, you know, oh, hey, that's one less person. That's one less person to compete with. Or like, you know, you care about people like you should, even as a salesman, like you should have, you know, any kind of, you know, human feelings left in you, you know, not just in it for the money.
Do you feel like there wasn't a lot of human feelings at the MLM, like a lot of cutthroat behavior, or what?
So later on into it, I found out that some of the people ended up getting kicked out because, so once I got into the group that I was in, it was a community of like 1,500 people or something like that. So pretty good size. And they were working on this software where you could go in and you could like do courses and like watch videos, and they do tips and whatever. And once people started seeing that was picking up, some of the people that fell off of that group started trying to like cross recruit some of those other people to do their own thing. And once they started doing that, then, it was the top sellers going at each other. And then we're down here like, we just want to sell something. Like, what's going on?
And
like,
they're telling you, move over here, come over here where the money is.
Exactly. And they're just trying to pull you.
I just saw that with FutureNet, where this guy, Ryan Conley, was kind of accused of cross promoting. He denies it, of course, but I have to say that it's an allegation. It's just an allegation. But I do feel like a lot of the people who you find that really do well with MLMs, it's not their first MLM. It's not their first rodeo. They've been doing it for a very long time. And they usually are dragging kind of people with them from thing to thing. And that's how they build up their network, is like being like, hey, you guys who are with me at that like MLM over there, that failed MLM, come over here, come over here, come over here. And so maybe it was that people at the top were jumping ship or something. Like they felt like, oh, we're going to go here, see if we can make some money here. Or, I mean, because how many water machines can you sell?
Isn't
that the problem with this? Like Herbalife, you can sell shakes for days. You can sell shakes forever because people keep buying shakes. With the water machine, it seems like you buy one, you're done, right?
Right. So the one thing that it seemed like they kept doing is like they would go and they would sell. They called it what did they call that? The trifecta. They called it the trifecta, and that was essentially buying into. There was a mobile water machine. There was a machine that you'd put in your home, like a stationary one, and then the pills, and you could just take those wherever, And once you bought in at that, you would jump up one full level, but at the same time, like they made it seem like everyone needed these machines. Like that's the lie that you've been fed. And for some people, that's the lie that they kept eating. Like
so you really weren't complete with just $1,000 water machine. Actually, let's talk about how much they cost with that. Cause I'm not as familiar with how much they cost. I know they're kind of expensive, but why don't you tell everybody?
Yeah. So let me, I don't know why, I still have my charts. So, let me, let's see here. Where are we at? So
maybe you're still holding on to hope. Come on, Eddie. Be honest.
Holding on to hope. What am I, a hope hoarder?
Maybe. Some people are, dude. Some people are.
Yeah. You're right. That is definitely one thing that, God. Yeah, I remember these. Okay. So, there are a ton of different models. Base price for, let's see, base price for one of the first ones actually, 3,900. Yeah.
Just to get you in the door, huh?
See that face? Yeah, that was the face that I made. Yeah,
4,000 to get you in the door.
4,000. Yeah, that just gets you your like first couple of chips. They want you to keep playing
just
the
wets
tables.
Your tongue. I mean, that doesn't that doesn't quench your thirst there.
No. But
that's
if you
what
do
your first drops of a Kangen. Dude, what's crazy to me is you're getting water through your tap for free.
Yeah. So
wow.
I don't know, the one thing that was so that made me keep hope, but at the same time I was like, man, I don't know if this is going to work. Like I just can't, I can't sell that price. It's like Kirby's, right? The vacuum. Those are like $1,200 for a brand new machine. So, but the difference is like that lasts, I mean, a good while. It's like made out of steel and whatever. Sometimes cast aluminum anyway. So sometimes, you'll see prices like this, and immediately the people were like, I'm not doing that. Like I'm out. Like where do I get out of here?
Most people don't have $4,000 to drop like that anyway.
No. And so the trick was selling hope to you. And so once they sold the hope to you, then you find out like, oh man, that would be cool. There was this exercise, right? Where we were inside of the community thing, and part of the paperwork that you'd fill out, or the online paperwork, it was like, describe in the most detail your ideal morning. And they wanted location, what you were doing, like what you were going to eat, like as much detail as possible. And then that way it was ingrained in your head where you're like, oh man, that's exactly what I want. All I got to do is sell this machine. I can get that. Oh, cool. Yeah, take my money. Take it. I don't want it. Give me freedom.
Right,
I got it.
Come on.
Because
what's $4,000 if it means you're making $10,000 or $20,000 or $100,000?
Yeah. And the terrible thing is, like, the promise of that being non-existent ended up falling on all the people, because it became like, well, if I can't sell this, like, that's on me. And there were some people in the community that made that very clear, where they were like, I mean, you just got to sell. Like, I don't, you can watch all the videos you want, but until you sell, like, I can't really help you out, man.
Hey, how hard is it really to sell 4 units a month? Come on, Eddie.
Oh,
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
4? No. 6. You need 6 out the door. Oh, God.
They always do those stupid equations that sound plausible but aren't plausible. Like, if you talk to 10 people a day and one of them buys, all you have to do is do that 6 days in a row and you got 6 sales. Isn't it so easy? Isn't it that easy?
Yeah.
That's what
That makes
sales
so much
trainers
sense.
and sales managers always do. They always use that stupid math. It never actually works. It's never that you talk to 10 people and one of them buys. It never happens.
No. It's like in their mind, in a perfect world, they go 10 for 1. They're like, yeah, 10 no's, 1 yes, And if you get 10 no's or like 11 no's, big deal. You go on to the next 10. You'll get 2 yeses at the end of that.
And what a lot of people need to understand too is that not only is this an expensive machine, I've done a little bit of research, by the way.
Yeah, good.
It's also competitively outpriced by everybody else in the market. So it's not just that it's an expensive, like, luxury machine. A lot of competitors, they allege that they're doing very similar things, if not more, at a lower price point. So it's hard to sell that. No matter how good of a salesman you are, at the end of the day, if it's the same product for less, people just go with that. So I think you're right that it has to come down to the hope, because what else? What's the other advantage besides that? And that really is what I've noticed from MLMs. They're sort of the good salesmen, the people who succeed, are masters at tapping into the hope, you shouldn't be satisfied, you can do better, and with us you will do better, right? They give you that vision for the future, even if it's not plausible. Right.
And that's definitely the selling point that they always had, was an idea, like the possibility. Because at the end of the day, you think about it like, well, man, if I get laid off for whatever reason, which, a lot of people get laid off for almost no reason.
Right.
A lot of things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of instill that fear into you almost, where you're like, well, I mean, if I get laid off, like, I'm screwed. Like, I need to start looking and doing something. Why not start here? Like, this is a great opportunity.
Sure.
You got the paperwork for a loan though? Because, I need to apply for one. I don't have that cash. And unfortunately, a lot of people went down the financial tube because one second here, because not only did they buy that first machine, they bought that second machine, which, let's see, there are a couple of machines that they have. Oh, actually, you know what? I misspoke last time. So this is the mobile machine, which is 3,900. Your stationary machine, the K8 Kangen, is 4,900. Along with your yearly subscription to your supplements, and that's another maybe 1,000 depending on what you get. So yeah, just on products alone, they can upsell you almost
10 grand.
10 grand right there, right in the door. 10 grand,
and that's basically. And is that tied to how much money you can make, basically?
The machines?
Yeah.
So yes, and they base your purchases and purchases under your name on your rank or your level, whatever you want to call it, because as your sales progress, that's how you progress. And so if you sell 3 machines, that boosts you, and then also puts the person that you sold them to in like a starter spot, really. So they get their first rank, but yeah, that's how you move up. You sell.
Now, a lot of people are going to say, hey, isn't that a job where you sell and you move up? Talk about what is commonly thought of when it comes to MLMs, which is the focus on recruiting over actual sales.
So the one thing that I did notice, they definitely wanted you to sell, but at the same time, it wasn't just selling the product to people that weren't interested in the opportunity that we had.
I see. So it's like
because
it's like recruit selling.
Yeah. So it was essentially like, hey, check out this product. Or they were really, what ended up getting me was, the idea of the freedom and all of that. That's how they get you in the door. And then they're like, oh yeah, all you got to do is sell these machines. So you might as well, stick around with us, and then you can just keep moving up. Like, no big deal,
No big deal.
No big deal. Yeah, that's how they made it seem. I was like, easy peasy, whatever. Live on a beach, man.
That easy.
That easy.
How much money did you make? Well, walk us through now. Now you bought in. So are you making money? When do you start making money? When do you start making that money?
Making that money. So there was a side community that I was also part of that was like,
what?
There was a group
rescuing pandas or some random thing again?
No. I mean, it's the same company, but like, how those top tier guys were competing. I kind of, slid over to one other one, trying to follow the rabbit hole, And so what ended up happening is I made a little bit of sales on the other side, and it was like, let's see. It was one set of the 3 machines, and you made, I think it was 30% on that, which was like a decent amount of money at that time, which I think, let's see, that was like, I want to say that last transaction was like 3,500, I think.
That's nice.
On all the stuff that they had sold. Yeah, but the thing is, once they started, getting into like, hey, we're revamping this community, making the system and stuff. There goes another upsell where they ended up saying, okay, we're going to launch this system where 90% of it is done for you. 90% of it.
Like an automation thing? This is so common now. Like
they're trying to automate it.
Automated MLMs?
Yeah. pretty much.
We really have hit the 21st century, boys.
Oh yeah,
it is a new age.
Oh man, yeah. And once they started putting it out.
Hold on, let me guess. MLM's finally figured out what advertising is. It's direct selling, but automated.
Yeah. What's better than automation? Yeah. So the pitch was 90%, you do 10% of the work. The 10% of the work was like a depleted uranium 10%, because that was a whole lot of lifting that you still had to do, because you still had to get leads. You still had to run ads. You still had to spend the money on ads. Like your ad spend was, oh God, at one point I had an ad spend per day of like $300 like a day.
And what are you trying to do?
So
what is the ad? The ad is written for you?
So they tried to do some like templates that had like essentially just like ideas of like what you could put in the ad. They were like, oh, hey, take our ad and then just kind of hedge your face into the beginning and the end of it. And then it'll be our faces that, is selling. And then so many people were like, oh, that's great. Like, we don't really have to make the ad. Like, this is awesome. But for me, trying to be, as efficient as I possibly could, I just said, well, I think I'm going to try and make like my own full ad, try and make it more personable. And so that's what I ended up doing. I just made, I was in Chicago. I was just in the park, and then I just started, filming, and I was like, okay, hey, this is like our opportunity, blah, 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 running the ad or making the ad.
I would love to see this ad.
Oh God, no, God. Oh man. I honestly still have like the folder of all that stuff. And every time I turn the computer on, I'm like, ooh, should I delete it? No, I'll keep it. I'll just leave it there. Archive it. And so like they would have you run ads. And really, I'd say like 90% of the calls that we would get into when they would do the meetings, it was all essentially like how to run your ads better. So trying to get you more efficient, right? But at the same time, like halfway through it, somebody starts crying, like as they're giving their testimonial. And that I'm not going to put names out there, but there was one guy that was in the top of the whole thing. And at one point he was like, I just got to tell you guys, like, I love you guys, man. Like, this is the community to be in. Like, oh God. And then he's just bawling his eyes out, trying to sell it harder and harder. Like, guys, don't stop. Don't stop. My life depends on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit. All right. So eventually, you feel like you've gotten wise to, the whole ad spend thing. Cause like you've tried so many things. I have like pages and pages of different like sets and things like that. Cause it's all preset stuff. You'd set up all of your ads and, you'd run ads. There were people, way deeper than I was. They'd be running ad sets of like, oh God. They were claiming that their ad sets were running at like $5,000 a day. $5,000 a day.
They must be getting crazy conversions on that.
They had to have. Otherwise, or they're lying. Like, I don't.
And people get the ad and then they come to a seminar, or they sign up right away, or.
So much like, the golden age of the Alex Beckers and whatnot, you see the ad, you go to the free webinar, you sign up. So you continuously get the emails like, hey, we're going live in 5 minutes, whatever. And
that's a good Alex Becker impression.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sounds just like him. We're about to be live. Hey, are you going to be there? Hey,
you going to be there? Yeah.
Hey, how
no.
about this wolf mug? How about this wolf mug?
You like this wolf mug? No.
Is Alex Becker over? I mean, is the age of the Alex Beckers, the golden age, over? Just as an aside.
So telling this story, I feel like I was in the prehistoric age because Alex Becker was like, the successor to all of this. It seems like,
Right.
I don't know. Like, there's just so many new ones. Every time that I watch a video or like right before the video, no joke, yesterday I had seen 5 different people running very similar ads of the same thing. Like, oh, hey, Amazon, FBA, like we're doing drop shipping, like,
Or Amazon automation
whatever.
is the new thing.
Automation. Yeah. That definitely is.
Now you can make money without anything. You don't need to do anything. Hey, don't you want free money and no effort? It's like the height of the get rich quick scheme. Hey, don't you want to do absolutely nothing and make money? Well, have we got a product for you?
Oh, yeah.
Suspend all your disbelief right away.
Do you know how to look at a screen and just do nothing?
Yeah.
Do that. We'll make millions. Oh, sweet.
Okay, so go ahead. You have the webinar, right?
Yeah, so we'd have the webinar, and they would pretty much, I mean, they would just keep selling us on the same thing over and over again. And the one thing that you could always count on is them talking about either or meditation, and reading books, getting your Lamborghini knowledge, and
You're kidding.
No, I mean, really, like, I want to say a real good majority of like the brainwashing was like getting in the correct mindset, because they believed that if you could visualize what you were going to get,
of course,
it would materialize.
Of course.
I don't. What's that book?
The Secret.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Or Think and Grow Rich. I mean, it's a lot of the same thing. The key to that is that the implication is you don't need to know how it's going to work. Hey,
no,
you're going to get rich and you don't need to understand how. Your whole problem is that you haven't been thinking about how wealthy you're going to be. So keep thinking. And also it's a way to like self brainwash, because if you're constantly thinking about being rich, then obviously the biggest thing not to do is think about the possibility of failure, because now you're no longer attracting the wealth, right? Exactly. So it's a way to self-reinforce the brainwashing of, oh, you're going to make money. Hey, you're going to make money. Why? Because you have to be thinking of making money. Otherwise, you're not going to make any money.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one of those things, like, they say it so many times, and then eventually you actually believe
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you believe it. And then at some point you're like, man, like, is the road ever going to end? Like, am I going to get there? No, you're not going to get there. What do you mean? You're never going to make it to the end of that road. Like, that's not.
What's insidious is that some people do, obviously, right? And that's the whole attraction, is you have all these mentors who are talking about how much money they made, although they have every incentive to inflate their numbers. Everybody has an incentive to fake it till you make it, because you attract people in MLMs who are successful, attract more people. So, but then the person you are under probably has a mentor that's more successful. So everyone's kind of looking up going, hey, am I ever going to be up there? And the answer, of course, is probably not. Actually, there's like 99% chance not. But we just don't think in statistics. Humans aren't equipped to think logically like that. We're equipped to be susceptible to sales, psychology, persuasion, magical thinking.
Magical thinking.
That's what that's what a lot of these things are based off of. So,
yeah. And that's. So once I started getting towards the end of, this whole thing, the guy that was above me, the guy that brought me in, he actually left, and him and a pretty big group of people left, and they tried to pursue something else. Like you were saying before, it was probably, a very similar, architecture of things. And so they left, and they started getting into crypto and, a lot, like a couple other MLM things that they're trying to do. And once they did that, then I was like, oh man, there's that switch again. Like, is it one less that I have to deal with? Is that one less person that I have to compete with? Or was that a wealth of knowledge that's now gone? And now what do? I feel helpless. But there was one person that I ended up talking to for like a good while. And he was like the most upfront person in the whole thing. But then in the end, I just decided like, I can't spend any more money. Like I can't do it.
How much money had you spent at this point?
Total, I was just right at
10,000.
Yeah. And once I got to that point with, go ahead.
Sorry, you go ahead.
Well, once I got to that point of like, I couldn't see myself like being able to keep up, cutting down that margin, and becoming profitable in all of this. Then I just said, no, I'm not. Like, my subscription thing ran out, and I just kind of ghosted. I just disappeared. I was like, I'm out. Pull the cord, man. I'm out. Like that's exactly what I had to do. Otherwise,
did you feel any shame around failing?
So, yeah. And that's really, that's kind of the shitty thing, cause like
it is,
it makes you feel like the whole quitting thing was entirely your fault, because you couldn't make it, you couldn't hack it, but at the same time, like, once I started peeling back those layers and seeing like what was really going on with all those other people, cross recruiting, and like there was one person, I guess, he was somehow switching between accounts, building his account. And so, I mean, it was really confusing, but like somehow essentially he was like building himself up using the same people, just switching back and forth, doing different accounts. And so somehow he kept going, and it was like he was just cheating the system.
Good for him.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I was like, man, that is inspirational. That is inspirational. It's terrible.
Scamming an MLM, who would have thought?
Who would have thought, right? And a few of those people ended up getting kicked out.
It really is, though, a pernicious thought that when you leave, it was your fault, because the whole time you're kind of encouraged to talk about people who also fail and drop off the map as sort of being inferior for their failure to keep up, I guess, or like push on. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So then when you fail, then you feel like, oh man, this is all my fault. I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
When in reality, the system is just messed up.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not designed to succeed or make you money.
Yeah. You were set up in the beginning, in the very beginning, almost 100% of the time to fail. Especially through that.
Yeah. It's
structure,
I mean, and to the people who say like, I don't know, it's just the wrong MLM. It's kind of like saying, hey, we've never tried communism kind of thing. Like it's like the the true form of MLM has never been really tried.
Oh man.
I'm half Cuban, so I really have my grandparents especially instilled in me a hatred for that argument. Of like the no true communism thing. It's kind of funny. They were like, no, we've tried communism.
No, it's not cool.
But there's this guy, Robert Fitzpatrick. I talked about him when I did a MLM video back in the day. He talks a lot about how mathematically MLM sets you up to lose. Just if you run the numbers on the structure, the commission payout structures of MLMs, not only can everybody not make it, the majority of people will not make it. The vast majority not only will not make it, but will lose money. It's something around the range of 95 to 99% of people will lose money with an MLM.
Yeah. And
which means it's not your fault, though. That's what that means. That means it's not your fault. It's not for lack of trying. It's statistics. People want to ignore that statistics like matter and count.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, realistically, if you look at it, from the numbers aspect, like you really can't win. Especially when you have, some crooked sellers that are doing, somewhat shady things, like then you especially can't win, because then they're just setting you up to fail even harder. Right. And how do you combat that? You can't. They're just like, they're the ones that are kind of in charge of, I don't know. Oh, it's one of those things where once I was done with it, I realized, okay, like no more. And once I stepped out of it and I ghosted, I don't know. I told myself I have to do something legitimate, And so luckily I found my way back to cooking. Right. And then I just started teaching. And
teaching what? Cooking.
Culinary. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool.
Started
man.
teaching culinary classes. And so after that, then I just thought there's no reason, because to me, I think the experience that I have now, I mean, the bad experience from that, but then also the good experience that I had prior, cooking and whatnot. I just realized that, I mean, there's so many better opportunities than like, hey, I got this credit card. Can you promise that I'll be rich? Because nobody can,
Good for you, man. That's really great. Not where do you teach, but do you teach it like, I don't want you to give away your location, but you're like, do you teach at a high school or like?
So I actually teach, it's adult enrichment. And so
cool.
Essentially I teach for a career center, and the classes, like the area that I'm in, we have, which I wish I had when I was growing up, they have like actual cooking classes. And in each of the high schools, they have like a chef that runs all of that stuff. And so it's like home ec on steroids, because there's actual chefs there, which is amazing. Like I never, thought that was a thing until I, got to a city, and I was like, man, it's really a thing.
Yeah.
So through this career center, I just teach the adult classes. And so essentially people that just want to learn, like, hey, I'm teaching this French cuisine night, I'm doing this. And then if they're interested in like doing a date night or whatever, then they come out and, check it out. So, yeah.
That's really awesome. Well, you seem like a great dude. Sort of wrapping up here, I'm trying to think about, what do you think were the key flaws in your thinking? I don't want to say flaws, but the maybe red flags maybe you overlooked, or if you could just look back on the experience and think about where you may have gone wrong, how you could have prevented kind of getting sucked into it. Do you think it was like a naivety? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think honestly, probably first and foremost, the main one would have been, I guess, the immediate like wanting more, the feeling of wanting more. And that's kind of how they initially hook you.
Of course.
And so feeling like, once you get complacent, then you're like, oh man, like the possibilities, I could do this. and they let you believe that. Like they feed it to you, you know, and you'll eat it up. And that really should have been one of the first red flags. But then after that, it was like you had to pay to play. Now, if you were investing in a company, like, you know, making actual investments, I guess that makes sense. But at the same time, like, this wasn't that at all. Like, it was sales to make sales.
You're paying to get a job.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to McDonald's. So we'll keep half your check.
Because you have to be our customer.
Because
every time you leave, you have to buy a burger. And then the person who came in for their shift is going to cook you that burger. And then when you come in for the shift, they're going to leave and they're going to order a burger and you're going to cook them that burger.
Never ending cycle.
It's a genius system, guys. It makes so much sense.
It's ingenious. Look at that. So probably that. And then really the mindset thing was, I think, to me, the part that threw me for the biggest loop, because they try and get you to think like something has always been wrong with your mindset, like as a person, you know, and they're trying to.
Right. That's why you're poor. That's why you're poor.
Exactly. It's like rich dad, poor dad, you know, like they're just trying to get you. You got to believe that you're going to be rich, you know? And
do you know that rich dad was never a thing? Like the rich dad, poor dad, you know the book, right? And he has like a rich dad, poor dad. He never had a rich dad or a poor dad. Later, he said that he made them up. They're more like Harry Potter characters. That's what he said.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
He's waffled back and forth about it. Like maybe he's kind of like, well, maybe there's a rich dad and maybe there's a poor dad. But at one point he's like, well, why don't we just think of them more as Harry Potter characters? And everyone's like, no, that's if they're not real, doesn't that defeat your whole book?
Oh
and mind you, Robert Kiyosaki's the guy who's like, your network is your net worth. Oh my gosh, dude. Terrible.
Oh man.
He has done, in my opinion, he's done a lot of harm to, you know, people who believe now because of his book about multi-level marketing that, oh, that's the way of the future. Because Robert Kiyosaki said it, right?
Yeah.
He's got some crazy ideas. Now you're kind of happy doing the culinary thing. You got any big plans for the future?
Yeah. So now, I've been trying to transition into more of a digital classes. The only thing is, there's so many people on YouTube, you know, that have so many, like, making whatever, anything really. And so to me, the only way that I can really succeed doing that is selling my personality. And that's a lot of times I feel like channels that do gain traction, it's because that person's likable, or, you know.
That's why we're never going anywhere, baby.
Oh, geez. No.
That's why we're staying at the bottom.
No, you're a dime. You're a dime.
Hey, do you have a YouTube channel?
No. Soon to come.
Come on. Why don't we start your YouTube channel right now? Are you going to do a cooking YouTube channel?
I mean, yeah. You know what?
Dude, cooking makes so much money. The cooking channels, they're banking, dude. Just making some stupid like tofu once. They shoot it nice. Everyone loves it. I watch it. Hey,
yeah, I mean, I mostly just shoot all my stuff for like Instagram and stuff.
If you were to name your channel, what would it be right now? Give the people a name that they can follow right now. Because by the time this is live, you're going to have made a channel that's called this. Go.
The Bigger Plate.
Ooh, I like that.
But the interesting thing about that is it's not ER, it's AR, because that's part of my name. So I had to make it that way.
All right, make it difficult on the rest of us. Thanks a lot. I will leave a link below. Eddie, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, and I'm glad that I got to share my story. So hopefully no one else makes that same mistake.
Jay Mazzini has left the internet. This is his Instagram, or was his Instagram. You can no longer find it. Either it was deleted, he deactivated it, but this is a gigantic win. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coffeezilla. I am the internet detective. Today, we're talking about Jay Mazzini and reflecting on the fact that all his stuff has sort of been taken down by himself. By the way, it seems like, from what I can tell, I think he just deactivated it. And I'm not even going to say he's going to be off the internet forever. But at least for now, he can't scam people. It's a huge win. Listen, I'm not a fan of people taking their channels offline. I'm not a fan of canceling people, and I didn't cancel Jay Mazzini. I showed what he was doing, and he decided that he didn't want to live on an internet where people knew that he was scamming people. But I never said, hey, go shut this guy's channel down. I never said, hey, go get this guy. No, that's not what we're about here. We're about shining a light, and if you decide that you don't like the look of what you're doing on the internet, that's a bad thing that you should reflect on. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I think that less scammers online is a good thing. And to be clear, Jay Mazzini, it's the worst type of scammer there is. There is a whole spectrum of the fake guru world, right? Some of it's very gray, and I would argue, like, you couldn't really call it a scam, but you might say, it's just not worth the money to me. Like, a lot of people sell like a $300 course, a $500 course. And you know, if there's value there, but I just think it's overpriced, I'll say, yeah, don't really love that, whatever. Then there's stuff in the middle where it either doesn't do what they say it does, or it's like really high price. They're pressuring the upsells. Like, that's bad. Usually that's either they don't have the expertise, or it's just like putting people in the hole and they're not getting results. Then all the way over here is the Jay Mazzinis of the world, where they're telling people, hey, come, I'll trade you Bitcoin or whatever. And they're just taking money. They're just basically just theft. I don't know another word for what you might call that. But yeah, when you're just taking people's money, they're not getting anything. They're not even getting like some crappy course. They're literally having their money taken, never returned. And that's disgusting. And that, I can draw a hard line in the sand and like say that society needs distinctly less of that. In reflecting on the Jay Mazzini saga as it winds up this chapter, and we don't know if there's going to be another chapter, I think it's important to know that a lot of life is like this, okay? This is Ponzi schemes explained in the simplest terms, and just watch it, because if you're falling for this stuff, you haven't learned your lesson, okay? This is what it is, basically. You put something in a dark hole you don't understand. Oh, look. Oh, it's a magic machine. Well, it worked one time. I'm going to throw everything in. Halal Capital? I'll throw all my money in. Oh, they gave me more money. Okay. I'm going to put my life savings in this thing. So he throws everything underneath. What do you think's going to happen? This is what you guys do with these influencers who have no background, whatever. Then it's, yeah, you're done. They run. They shut down. That's like a great metaphor for Jay Mazzini shutting down his Instagram. He could flee the country right now. Nobody would have any idea. This is something I'm telling you guys. Learn from other people's mistakes. It's very sad, and we feel terrible for the victims who this happened to. But you don't have to have the same thing happen to you, okay? This channel is about informing people so they don't suffer the same mistakes, the same kind of... What is up? Welcome back to the $10 million studio. I know, it seems like we're changing all the time, but actually, we are just moving within the same room. We're trying different ways of organizing the set to make it easier for you guys. This is doubling right now as a screen, but actually, look at this. I can turn it off. Boom. Boom, there's our board, huh? Not too shabby. And as you can see, moved into a new place. There's an annoying guy next door. He's kind of snooping around, which is kind of annoying. Ben Cumberbun or something like that. I don't know what his name is. He's always trailed by his bumbling sidekick. I don't know what it's about. They're kind of weird. I don't know what their deal is. But nevertheless, we're not going to let that stop us. It's some good real estate for finding out the new mysteries of the internet, from digging up the scams, from exposing the frauds. So thank you for joining me on this journey. Now, today we are reacting to fake gurus calling out fake gurus. And let me say, I'm having trouble here seeing my future, because I just invested in a $10 million studio to call out fake gurus. And I'm going to be out of a job soon, because I can't call out the fake gurus faster than the fake gurus are calling out the fake gurus. You won't believe it. I never thought in a million years that the strategy of a fake guru would be to call out fake gurus. I don't know what the idea there is. Like, do they not think we'll see through it? Let's find out. Here's a few that I collected today for us to look at together. So this is our first guy, and I'm just going to say here, I see this not as a video, but as actually an ad. This guy's spending money to call out fake gurus. It's insane.
Oh, this. Another online business guru. I don't know about you, but I'm getting pretty sick and tired of all of these fake online
Damn, boy.
business gurus trying to get me to
This guy watches Coffeezilla. For sure. 100%.
register for their webinars. Guys, I know you've been seeing the ads, but I promise you, if you just give me 60 seconds.
Okay, so then you give him 60 seconds, right? You're going to give him 60 seconds and you think, oh, man, he's not going to be like them. Right?
If you want to create a life of better financial freedom, live the life of your dreams, and stop working a 9-to-5 job, stop doing all the stuff that you hate, click the link around this video.
Sorry, we already went on to the next one. Oops, you guys have been spoiled, but let me just say that. I'll just say just one word about that last guy. Dude, you can't call out the gurus and then sell your webinar and go sell your free training. Bro, come to my free training. Come to my free training where I sell you on my course. What a joke.
There are more scams out there on the internet than there are legitimate opportunities by far.
Okay, let's check out this.
Cut to John Crestani selling scams. Listen, let me say this about that thing, because I talked to John Crestani. I said, how much did it cost to get Chris Hansen on your show? He said $25K. $25K to call out the gurus. Now this itself was a scam because you were supposed to buy a book, which is a $20 a month upsell for the book. A book that has a $20 a month subscription attached to it. But yeah, John, you just keep calling out the scammers, buddy.
Okay, let's check out this method to literally copy paste ads to make money. First off, you don't want to run a business where you have to actually like buy products and like ship them out to people, okay? So let's forget about e-commerce or drop shipping.
I don't even know why I tried it. These guys make such better comedy than I ever could with these things. There are so many scams out there, but make bank. Dude, we're gonna make bank. Sell my product.
Work for it. Search for my last name because the product we're gonna be
selling is actually my product.
Selling is actually my product. Unfortunately.
All right, next meme. I don't know. That's PewDiePie, right? No, never mind. Next guru.
The world of e-commerce education is full of scammers, pretenders, and
okay, hold on. I want to pause there because it's gonna be funny later. He's saying that the baller busters are calling out the scammers. Okay, remember that.
outright liars. I'm sure you've seen their ads all over the place, and I bet many of you have even been their victims. For all of you gurus and self-proclaimed experts out there, you better watch out.
Guru beware. Now when you go to Baller Buster's page, remember this is the guy that's calling out the gurus that Kevin Zhang endorses. Kevin Zhang is one of their call-outs.
Dude, what the
is there I am.
Welcome back to the show, guys.
Little collab with Baller Busters. But this is a long call-out. Oh, look, he's doing another e-commerce. 70% off. That was the scam he did last time. Where am I headed? Jail. Next guru.
The stock market can be a very dangerous place if you're following a fake. If you're learning from a fake, and because of this bull market, there are lots of fakes. In this video, I'm going to talk about it and tell you how to expose a fake.
Ah, yes, Tim Sykes, the original huckster, dude. Yes. So this video, which is released recently called like Calling Out Gurus or How to Spot a Fake Guru. It's all just him pitching his $1 million challenge.
If you want to get into my millionaire challenge and you're ready to be, taught by a drill sergeant.
Now, one of my favorite things about Tim Sykes, the millionaire trader, is that he's got verified trades on a platform called Profit.ly or Profitly. Now, here's an interesting thing. Who verified Tim Sykes' trades? Well, Profitly, but who owns Profitly? Tim Sykes. That's right. Tim Sykes has verified Tim Sykes' trades. You better not call him a scam, dude. Hey, they're verified. Verified by him. Okay, next guru.
If I see one more person on my TikTok timeline giving out professional advice because they have hundreds and thousands and sometimes even millions of dollars in their Robinhood account, I swear I'm going to rip out my hair.
Okay, you shouldn't be able to teach if you just have $1,000 or $1 million in your account. You're saying don't fall for all these fake Robinhood gurus. Okay, so don't trust somebody just because they say they have millions of dollars in their stock market account. Got it.
I made $1 million in 4 weeks, and this is exactly how I did it.
This is, by the way, like several months later after he calls out the gurus. Oh, don't listen to all those other idiot gurus. Hey, by the way, I made millions of dollars.
Started off with $1,000, which I turned into $5,000, $5,000 to $10,000, $10,000 to $25,000, $25,000 to $50,000.
And wouldn't you believe it, $50,000 into $1 million. Hey, and this is definitely not a demo account, but I turned $1,000 into $1 million. Totally, yeah, this is Very believable. Yeah, just no big deal. 100,000% returns. That's it. Hey, 100,000% returns. What are you going to say? I'm lying? Next, scammer.
Mindset. If you're doing that and you're trying to scam people, you don't have to go down that path.
This is a TikTok person named Lovin' Not Working. But what does she say? Scammers need right mindset. That's right. If you're scamming, you got the wrong mindset.
Stay honest. Stay true to yourself. You'll live a happier life. You'll be able to sleep better at night. The good news is it could change. But unfortunately, that's a decision for you.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. All you fake gurus out there, all you scammers, do the right thing. Don't, stop scamming people.
I want to show you how to get from $1,000 to $1 million. And check out the link in my bio for more.
Oh, a little course action there. Little 2% theory. Yeah, just $1,000 to $1 million, 2 years. What's the big deal? Just trading crypto, baby. All right, and that's basically it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do here on this channel. All the gurus are calling out all the gurus. I don't really know what to do. They're all saying, watch out for the fake gurus. As fake gurus, I honestly don't know where my place is anymore. I'm lost. I'm confused. Let me know what you think, guys. What do you think? Let me know what you think of the studio, too, guys. We're building out our $10 million set. We're paying off the loan. It's a massive loan. So if you haven't already, go buy my fake.
Today we're talking about an unbelievably stupid story of charity that really shows the brain rot of crypto bros. This man's quest to simply donate money is going to lead him to space. But before it does, I have to say, normally I am against scrutinizing charity. I think all charity, however you give, wherever you give, however much you give, it's great. But occasionally, the motivations are so gross, the methods so outrageous, that it's worth making an exception. And that's what we're doing today. Today, we're talking about this man, Eric Finman, and we're talking about his quest to save a school in Africa with cryptocurrency. But to understand the full lore, we have to start with who Eric is. Actually, I'll let him introduce who he is.
I just want to start by saying I love being me.
Wait. Eric, no. We want to know who you are.
I love being myself. It's a pretty sweet deal.
No. Not who do you love. Who are you?
Yeah, I really love being myself. It's such a joy.
No, Eric. Tell me what you do.
Hi, I'm Eric.
Finally.
I'm the world's youngest Bitcoin millionaire. I made it in Silicon Valley, and I've accomplished a lot in my life already. But now, I'm leaving big tech to fight for free speech.
Okay, those were 2 clips of Eric from like 7 years ago and then from just a year ago. And as you can see, he hasn't changed that much in that time. He still loves himself quite a bit. But in 2021, he made waves launching the Freedom Phone, which is the ad you just saw and which got a ton of media attention. But was pretty much a commercial flop after the Freedom Phone's core promise of privacy failed inspection.
And the chipset inside of it, this isn't the product of someone who actually cares about privacy. It's the product of someone who's trying to take advantage of people who aren't as tech savvy.
So that was my first introduction to Eric. He's clearly a guy who knows how to get media attention and market himself, but he kind of lacks that follow through. Now, recently I saw him again on Fox News Business, and this time he was talking about another company he's part of, which also kind of sounded sketchy. It's a TikTok competitor called Lemotive, which in of itself is fine, but Eric claimed in this video that it has hundreds of millions of users on this app, and frankly, I had never heard of it.
No, we have hundreds of millions of users, so we have an amazing, user growth.
Now look, the fact I hadn't heard of this app is no big deal, but I went to my phone because I wanted to know more. I downloaded this app expecting hundreds of millions of users. Instead, everything I was seeing was like family member levels of engagement, like 3 to 5 likes per post. Your mom, grandma, and dad. It was a ghost town. Hardly anyone is on this app. So again, this is my second red flag. Once again, he kind of over promises, under delivers. But then comes the mother lode of all stories. Eric starts talking about all his achievements. And one of them is when he talks about a project he worked on in Ghana to donate money.
Let me ask you about that project. I saw you done some work in Ghana, and you just did something that's really historic. I think this is important because one thing I love about the definance revolution is that it's going to help people who would never really, people in industries and countries that would never really have a chance in a traditional global banking system.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, basically, we did a crypto version of Starlink.
So it starts off pretty normal. He's on national television, and he's talking about how he donated money. You know, this is what people talk about when they talk about cryptocurrency, banking the unbanked, you know, saving Africa. But then, as he gave details, I realized literally none of this is necessary.
I launched a satellite a few years ago, and we put a crypto wallet on there. I believe it's the only satellite with a crypto wallet, and we were able to beam down to a UNICEF school, an all-girls UNICEF school in Ghana, with the help of a member of the Ghanan government at the ground. We were able to ship them an antenna. They built it as a school project. It was amazing.
Okay, wait, just a second. You're telling me you launched a satellite, put a crypto wallet on that satellite, and built an antenna to receive that? You had to involve the government, all to send money? Isn't there a better way? I mean, if you're already going to be shipping an antenna, couldn't you have shipped cash? And the punchline is like, maybe if it was like millions of dollars, it would make sense. Like, oh, you can't just ship millions of dollars. It was $1,000. He donated $1,000 to this school in Ghana. And not just any $1,000. He donated $1,000 worth of a random crypto coin called Metal.
And then literally with no internet, we were able to beam down cryptocurrency right down to them.
By the way, I like it how he passes it off as some big achievement of like, hey, we sent them money even though they didn't have internet. But that's not even true. They did have internet because you built them an antenna. You could have sent them the money that you spent on antennas, satellites, and talking to the Ghana government. You could have sent it to them. But why do it that way when you can build and send a satellite to space?
We were able to ship them an antenna. They built it as a school project.
I like how he says like, yeah, they just set up this antenna. It's like a fun school project. Like, was it? I don't volunteer my free time as a Dish Network technician, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I don't know what the kids are doing in school these days. But by the way, this isn't even the wildest part because already way too many steps, right? But remember that Eric paid them in a cryptocurrency which is not used by locals at all, or really anyone. So guess what happens next?
A friend's company of mine, Yellow Card, he runs the largest crypto exchange in Africa, Yellow Card, and he was able to, on the ground, exchange the money for local vendors.
Okay, what have we done here? After everything, all of it, the satellite, the antenna, the government, you've literally had to send a guy with cash. You've had to do the thing you were trying to avoid doing the entire time. You had to send them cash to exchange the cryptocurrency. What is the achievement here? You're just sending the cash with like 12 extra steps. But even worse, he tries to make it seem like this is the wonders of crypto and space.
It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. They were able to fix their roof. They didn't even have lunch tables. They were eating their food on the ground in the dirt, and they were able to get wood for lunch tables. I mean, this is the amazing economy of space.
No, Eric, this isn't the amazing economy of space. This is the fake philanthropist grift. We've seen it thousands of times before. You just give small amounts of cash to poor countries, but when you do, you make sure you bring a camera and you make a media tour out of it while you're at it. As I said, wouldn't say anything because, charity is mostly a net benefit no matter the reason. But this story was just so wild. The lengths they went to make this seem revolutionary was so ludicrous that I had to make an exception.
This is the amazing economy of space.
Welcome, guys. It's been a little while. I've been low-key panicking about the coronavirus that's coming up, as I know a lot of you have. And normally I talk about serious stuff. This isn't a serious video. I understand coronavirus is a deadly virus. I'm not trying to make light of the suffering. I'm making light of the fact that we have to live with it. We have to be at home. We have to go through this. So while we're going through it together, if we can get a good laugh out of it. Oh gosh, I feel so stupid explaining myself here. It's memes, guys. It's memes while I try to stay sane inside. I make videos, this is what I do. This is what I would be doing in my free time anyway, just looking at memes. So I'm gonna make a video about it. I don't know what to say. How to not get coronavirus, part 1.
It's Corona time. Hey, it's Corona time right now.
Avoid touching doorknobs with your hands. Oh!
It's Corona time.
Effective method, dude. All right, coronavirus changing us. How are we watching ESPN after they canceled every other sport?
It's really like that right now, isn't it? We don't have any sports left. We have nothing left but bowling. Because no one goes there anyway. There's Carl. Oh, did that guy just touch his hand? Coronavirus. You got infected, boy. Reading the paper. World War III never happened and Australia finally stopped burning. Coronavirus. All right. Me explaining to my grandchildren how a guy eating bat soup in China led to a toilet paper shortage in the United States. Dude, this is actually true. I went to my grocery store the other day to get some necessities. And I went to go buy some toilet paper, like a regular amount, guys, not like a crazy amount. Like we're just happen to be running low. And RIP, boys. This was the line outside of my grocery store. And immediately the toilet paper was out. So that's actually true. Toilet paper shortage, RIP. Everyone's just stocking up on toilet paper right now. It's insane. I saw this lady. What are you doing? How are you going to use all that toilet paper? It's ridiculous. All right, what's next? 1024 dead Chinese people. Too soon. It says too soon. Yeah, it actually is too soon. Kid, hey mom, when is this coronavirus thing gonna be over? Mom, just shut up and eat your toilet paper.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
It's too much. You guys have too much toilet. You need to give me some. P.O. box me some toilet paper, boys. Coronavirus infects the whole world, plaguing players. Total organ failure. Oh. No! Total organ failure causes too much visibility, guys. That's why you don't get it until you have the whole world infected. How it feels waking up every morning in 2020. Damage report. Oh, man. I don't even check the news anymore. It's so sad. Me after hearing someone cough on my $8 round trip flight to Italy. It's the risk reward, isn't it? Isn't it? You can get a really cheap flight. You get a super cheap flight, but you're rolling the dice, dude. It's like Russian roulette, but you get a trip anywhere you want in the world for a really low price. Airlines are going crazy right now. Who would win? The stock market or sneezing bat? Well, I think we have our answer actually there. I think sneezing bat is clearly the winner. Schools. Due to coronavirus, all classes will be online. School shooters. Maybe this is the solution we've been looking for, guys. They can't shoot you if you're all online. School shooters right now are super depressed. Everybody's home. I'm Chinese, so I'm not being racist. Normal people when they get sick. In bed. This is going to be so racist. It's already going to be racist. You've said it. I'm Chinese and I'm not being racist. It's probably going to be racist. Chinese people when they get sick around the world in 80 days. No! No, not on my channel. You guys are going to bring this racist stuff on my channel. Perspectives. Your grandparents were called to war. You're being called to sit on your couch. You can do this. That's kind of true, right? I mean, this is like the first big event of our generation, like worldwide catastrophe. Our job is to sit on our couch. Like it's actually what you're supposed to do to help everybody. That's crazy. The World Health Organization has declared that dogs cannot transmit coronavirus and there's no need to let quarantine dogs anymore. Who let the dog? Stupid. That's stupid, dude. All right. All right, Dad. The extinction of humanity. Millions of gamers who have not left their room for years. Hey, also millions of YouTubers who have not left their rooms for years. Coronavirus. Being an introvert right now is a good thing, man. You're helping out humanity just being yourself. Did anyone bring any food? You prep. That's what's happening to you preppers right now. To the lady who bought so much toilet paper. That's what's happening to her right now.
Coronavirus. Coronavirus.
Shame on you. Shame on you. When boomers kill the earth, but coronavirus kills boomers. Well, how the turntables. Austria bans gatherings of more than 5 people during the coronavirus. Families with more than 5 people. One of you's got to go. Is it Demi? NBA players. We're going to play games without fans in attendance. WNBA players. First time. I did not make these memes, guys. I did not make them. No, dude. I'm watching a WNBA game after this as penance for laughing at this. Hand sanitizer company CEOs right now. Coronavirus death count. Is this safe for work?
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Norway and Sweden, Iceland and Finland, and Germany, now Holland, Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq, Iran, India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, and Bangladesh.
This is rough. This is rough. Hey, I'm out, boys. This is no. That's terrible. That's horrible. Oh no. Coronavirus, dude. We must stop it. The world's got to come together and stop this virus. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't make fun of coronavirus. I don't know anything about it. Other than if you get it, you have this unbelievable urge to go to the airport. Why do you guys do that? I guess you know. I guess like, you know, when you get sick, you're just like, man, I really, really, really want to get on a packed tube with a bunch of other people right now. Laugh while we still can. Yeah, that's what this is all about. Laughing while we still can. Normal people with fever. People with coronavirus. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Who? Wash your hands for 20 seconds. The automatic sink in the public bathroom. Best I can do is 1.5. Oh. Why are all public bathroom automatic sinks so bad? You like put your hands under it for 2 seconds. Just shh. 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 Dude, you manufacturers have to stop penny pinching the water bill there. When both 1820 and 1920 had massive plague outbreaks, the anti-vax movement is a thing, and it's the year of the rat. I'm endangered. Oh no, Dad! Oh no, we're in danger, boys. Is that true? I know 1920 had a wait, hold on. What was the 1920 plague? What is going on, guys? Oh, that was the Spanish flu. Okay, what was 1820? The first cholera epidemic. Oh, it's the first cholera epidemic. Dude. We're in danger, boys. Danger zone. Coronavirus canceled in New York because of coronavirus. Is that a real headline? Coronavirus conference. Coronavirus conference. Dude, it's stopping everything. Coronavirus has us all shut down, dude. We're all stuck at home, bored. You're watching this because you're bored. I'm bored. We're all bored because we have nothing to do. There's nothing to fight. Like, it's not like you can go join up in the military right now and go fight the coronavirus. It's not a thing. You just have to sit at home and hope nobody coughs on you and hope you don't cough on anyone else. Ugh. Rough time. Public health. Avoid being in crowds to prevent the spread of the virus. People being terrified of the virus. Y'all need to stop stocking up, boys. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to be here all week. I'll be here tomorrow for you guys to have another... I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow, but we're going to do something coronavirus related just because I feel like I already have so much anxiety about it. And I know a lot of you guys probably do. We're all sitting in our rooms bored. So we're going to try something else. We're going to try doing a little coronavirus stuff. The point is not to be like, you guys know I'm not a health official, okay? You know where to find real health sources. Don't take anything I say seriously. But we're just trying to keep it light over here, guys. When Brian Rose first ran for mayor, I thought it was a joke. Now I think it's a story of self-delusion, a beautiful story of grifting your followers, of lying, of not doing what you stood up for. And it's a beautiful story of what happens when you do all of those things. Do you win or do you fall flat on your face? Well, today we're going to learn lessons from Brian for Mayor, the campaign. Guys, if you don't remember, when Brian announced his campaign, he said it was all about free speech. He has been vilified, marginalized, and silenced, all for exercising his fundamental human rights of free speech and freedom of the press. He raised $1 million for freedom of speech, apparently spent close to $1 million on his campaign. Now, I'm not going to put two and two together there. I'll leave that for you. But he allegedly said, I don't do anything by half measures. He said he was going to do things different, bring a fresh perspective, a new set of ideas. So what does he have to show for it? After all this spending, millions of dollars on these elaborate billboards across London, on this elaborate bus, after crying censorship about getting charged by the police, allegedly, after faking a criminal charge, what does he have to show for it? Well, before the election, we didn't know. Many, including Brian himself, were pretty optimistic about it. Now, to show this, I'd love to play you a video from Brian's campaign. Unfortunately, the Mr. Free Speech, the guy who I'll defend to the death, you're right to say it even if I don't agree with you, yeah, that guy has been copyright striking and blocking all videos relating to him. In fact, he recently copyright striked The Drip, my podcast channel, meaning that I only have 2 strikes left before that channel gets deleted. So, ironically, I can't show you his campaign. Otherwise, he'd censor me. So I decided to do the next best thing. I hired a person on Fiverr to read out Brian's transcript word for word so you could understand what he actually said performatively, because it's not the same if I read it to you. You have to understand the cadence of this man, the surety he had. Now don't ask why he's in a doctor's outfit, okay? We're rolling on the cheap here at Coffeezilla. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. What do you think, I'm rich? But this is what Brian said. He traveled to one of the offices, I guess, for mayor and said he was just visiting his new office. That's how sure he was that he was going to win. That's how deluded this man was. He said, I'm about to kick Sadiq Khan out of his office. Let's hear this clip.
All right, it's Brain Rose, your next mayor of London.
Okay, already this was a really good choice.
Today is the day to vote. I'm checking out my new offices here at City Hall. What an amazing view tower. Breed, you got the Tower of London. You got the City of London. And I'm here to tell the current mayor of London, it's time to clean out your office because I'm moving in on Saturday.
Imagine the arrogance that you have to literally say, nothing's been counted yet? I'll move it in. I'm going to trump that guy. I'm going to trump Sadiq Khan. You're fired. That's what he thought he was going to be doing. He thought he'd be marching in there going, hey, Sadiq Khan, you're trumped. I mean, you're fired.
You're fired.
You're out of here. The people of London have chosen me. This is how sure this guy was.
We are going to take London in a new direction. We are going to rebuild the economy, make our streets safe, finally run transport at a profit and build those affordable homes.
Wow. So big promises. And even up to the election, that was the day of the election, the votes get cast, but apparently they don't get counted right away, right? So there's a few days to go. Well, in between when everyone's voted and when actually the winner's been decided, Brian releases another video called We Won, We Won.
We won the Brain from Mayor campaign.
Dude, I can't. When this guy says brain, brain for mayor.
As won, and I don't have to wait for them to count up the votes. I don't have to wait for the tallies to come in.
This is crazy. Of course you have to wait for the tallies. What is he talking about? We won.
Because I've been out on the streets of London speaking to real Londoners on the streets, and I know we've won.
This is more credible coming from a fake doctor than it ever was coming from Brian Rose. You really have to see this clip to believe it. This is the kind of delusion. And eventually he said, we won because we just changed politics. We've changed it. This is right out of the fake it till you make it catalog. But there's only so long that you can put off the inevitable. Eventually, the results were in. What did they say?
I therefore declare Sadiq Aman Khan elected as the Mayor of London.
Yikes, we all kind of knew this was coming. But those aren't the results you're looking for or I was looking for. I wanted to know, how did Brian do? Brian Rose for the London Real Party got 31,000 votes, 1.2% of the entire vote. Oh my gosh, that's so bad. He spent millions of dollars to get 1% of the vote by tacking his name up on a billboard everywhere across London. Just to put that in context, right? Nico Alamani, another YouTuber who ran for, quote, vibes. He ran because of vibes, guys. He got 2% of the vote. Okay. So don't think that that's good, okay? It's not good. Now, obviously, we have only one real politician we care about. I don't care about Sadiq Khan. I don't really even care about Brian for mayor. You guys know the true London candidate that I was really pulling for. My personal endorsement, Count Binface. How did he do? Unfortunately, he only pulled in 1%, slightly behind Brian Rose. Now, initially, I was disappointed. That was until I realized how stupid the London election results are and how confusing they are, because that's not actually the real result. There's something called second preference votes, which are like the UK's, it's confusing. The point is, all you need to know is the total. The combined votes is how many votes you actually got, right? Because if Brian Rose and Count Binface were up head to head, you'd count their second preference votes. So what did they actually both get? Well, when you look at Brian Rose, he got a total of something like 70,000 votes. He got 40,000 second preference, 30,000 first preference. Okay, not bad. When you look at our boy Binface, though, he's a sleeper candidate with 70,000 votes just in second preference. And if you add that to his first tally, he has something like 90,000 votes for him, putting him ahead of Brian Rose. So a literal trash can beat Brian for mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the kind of campaign that Brian put on. He was beaten by a literal trash can from space. And that's not to disparage Binface. Everyone knows how much I love Binface. He was my personal favorite to win. But you really just have to look at a single photo to know the difference. Look, intergalactic deep thinker meets own urine drinker. And then we have a photo here of these two. I mean, guys, one of these clearly has spent millions of dollars for a candidacy. The other has a trash can on his head. And I know who I'd vote for. And London feels the same. So in light of all of this, you would think that Brian would finally accept reality. I thought I was going to come to you guys and tell you that Brian has accepted the L gracefully and moved on. Unfortunately, he has recently released a video right after losing where he says this.
All right, I've just finished at City Hall over here with the other 19 candidates to be the next mayor of London. They gave us the final result, and I am not the mayor of London yet.
What? What do you mean yet? Can't you just say you lost? What do you mean yet? Don't say yet. You lost. That's it. You got 1% of the vote. You got blown out.
Just getting warmed up.
No, you're not. Reality has no touch on this man. Reality means nothing. To Brian, he says, look, I may not have won, but I have won in spirit. I will win eventually. Look, you know you guys can say that about anything. You can literally say that about me. I could make a video that's titled, I am not mayor of London yet. I'm going to start telling my parents that. They always wanted me probably to be a doctor, you know, right here. I'm not a doctor, Mom, yet. Hello, delusion. My name is Brian.
And that's the message I want to get out to all of our supporters. To all the people that voted for the London Real Party, for Brian Rose.
Every time he does that, he cracks me up. Everyone who voted for Braid, good job.
All the people around the world that supported us, we are just getting warmed up.
Wow. These are levels of self-delusion that I did not know were possible, and yet we are seeing them right away. Before you get in, before anyone's voted, you say you're going to kick them out of City Hall. Then you go, oh, I've won before the votes are counted. Then you lose, and instead of saying you just lost, you go, I'm not mayor of London yet. Soon, guys. Unfortunately, and I hate to burst people's bubbles here, Brian for mayor is not happening. Brian will never be mayor of London. Or to put it another way, Count Binface has better odds of being the future mayor of London than Brian Rose does. Millions of dollars were spent on a campaign that only got 1% of the vote. What does that say about the resonance of the message? Maybe it's because you're censoring people from talking about you while running on a platform of free speech. Maybe that's why people didn't want to vote for you. Maybe it's because when people want to discuss your candidacy, they have to use literal Fiverr actors to reenact it. Maybe that's why it didn't go off so well. But I don't think Brian's going to reflect on that. Instead, I think he's just going to go, nah, it's just the elites. It's just the two-party system that got me. I really thought before this election that everyone had to come up and face reality eventually, but I think that's not true anymore. After this election, I think we may see another Brian for Mayor run in 2024 and maybe in 2028 and then every episode from then on. And let me be honest, if that is... Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here, but you know what I like more than Lamborghinis? Knowledge, dude. And Webinar Wednesdays. Guys, welcome to a segment of the show where we get scammed so you don't have to. In the past, when talking about gurus, I've talked about their marketing. I've done that stuff. I've traditionally strayed away from going into their course, partly because I don't want to spend $2,000. Also partly because it's hard to show that because it's behind a paywall. But I decided I would do it anyways. And we're going to have to find a way to just summarize this for you and try to get the idea to you without actually showing the content. And our first guru is the grandpappy of all gurus, the guy who had the brilliant idea to pretend he knows something on YouTube, get a bunch of poor, broke, desperate people to pay him a lot of money, and then try to leverage that into an actual legitimate business. I think Ty Lopez is now trying to buy real businesses. We'll see how that goes. But he got his real start with this whole internet marketer thing. I'm like this genius guru who knows the secret of health, wealth, and happiness. You guys all know the ad.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge.
But today we're going to be dissecting what happens behind the course, behind the paywall. So, bring down the screen. Always feels like that's going to hit me. Okay, guys, 67 steps to success. This is what he kicked it off with, I believe. You guys are going to have to tell me if I'm wrong there. But we're going to be going through a few things, okay, when reviewing this. We're going to talk about the price. We're going to talk about what I like, what I don't like. Should you buy this course, the full review, all that stuff. Now, to start with the price, $67 is what I found it for with a $67 renewal if you don't cancel. I think that's probably pretty mid-range to low range. I think that's sort of more of a tripwire product. We're trying to get you in the Ty Lopez funnel system. And indeed, a lot during the course, you're hearing him talk about the upsells. If you're part of this closing group, if you're part of this mastermind, you should buy, this upsell. And he always says, oh, I don't actually want the money. No, I don't want the money, guys. I do it for you, so you pay attention. You're not going to pay attention unless you open up that wallet, baby. So that's the price. Now, onto the course itself. The first thing you should know about this course by Mr. Pez is that it's very, very, very long. It's 50 hours long, which, if you're looking for value, might seem like a good thing. But unfortunately, 50 hours does not mean 50 hours of good content. It means 50 hours of Ty Lopez basically bloviating about little anecdotes in his life. I mean, nothing of this felt prepared. It felt like he just had 3 points, and his goal was to hit a 30-minute marker or an hour-long marker. The amount of just kind of where was I going with this is ridiculous. Luckily, I was going to feel bad and watch the full 50 hours, but Ty Lopez made me feel better. And this might be the only takeaway that I got from his course was during the speed reading portion. Now, we all know Ty Lopez, he's the king of reading, right? 1 book a day. Well, actually, it turns out he doesn't read 1 book a day. He does something he likes to call speed skims a book a day, which might mean reading it for 5 minutes, might mean reading it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But basically, anything but read it all the way through. And this is his rationale behind it.
You want to get away from stories. Stories are how authors fill up the pages of a book. So,
Yeah, that's exactly what Ty Lopez did in this course.
They're just trying to sell their book. They don't want to sell. Most authors could write a 10-page book with everything they know, the cliff notes, but they don't want to do that because they can't charge you $20 for it.
Yeah, the irony here is palpable, and that's when I realized I'm not going to sit through all of this Tai Lopez justifying a $67 course. Instead, I'll just get like the main high-level points, because really it boils down to in each lesson, he's got 67 lessons, it comes down to like one thing, or like maybe one or two ideas. And this is where we come to, I guess, the good thing and the bad thing of the course. Now, what do I like about Tai Lopez? He encourages reading. I'm never going to hate on a guy that encourages reading, baby. It's the best mechanism to self-improvement. It's what I tell you guys to keep doing. I probably don't say it enough. If you have a library card, you don't need any of these idiots, right? What I'm trying to tell you, you can get way deeper ideas. You can improve the quality of your thinking, the clarity of your thinking, all for an incredibly low price. So I like that about him. Hopefully he encourages people to read. Even his book list, I have no problem with. I thought his book list is pretty good. I read a lot of the books on there, and I would wholeheartedly endorse a lot of them. Now, what do I not like? Well, this whole course, and this is getting into like the really rating part of it. The whole course is reheated self-help. Tai Lopez speed read the Barnes & Noble self-help section and put it into 50 hours of content, okay? 50 hours of him just telling little stories about Grandpa Joel Salatin or whatever, which, by the way, is this man a farmer or isn't he? I recently saw a video where he's approaching a horse from behind.
How did I not know this?
But we're supposed to believe he's a farmer because he's got a hat on? Like, I'm not even a farmer, and even I know that. Look, can I be a farmer too now that I put a straw hat on? This is ridiculous. But anyways, that's the biggest problem, is that if you've read self-help, if you've cracked open 3, 4, 5 books from the self-help section, you already know all this stuff, and you have it from the source material, where people have spent years crafting together, like, the amalgamation of decades of experience, right, into one or two really crystallized ideas. Or you can have a guy who read it for 15 minutes at the breakfast table regurgitate it to you over an hour. I mean, I think the difference is clear, and this is like where the value proposition becomes kind of weak, is that really he's just regurgitating ideas, all the while saying that you should read. But if you read, then the value of Tai Lopez's course basically goes to zero. And if you just listen to summaries, then you're kind of doing what Tai Lopez is saying not to do, which is to be a dilettante. Another incredibly ironic part of this course is he talks a lot about how you need to drink deeply from the well of knowledge. But Tai Lopez seems very interested in not drinking deeply from the well of knowledge instead of drinking very widely from the well of knowledge. I don't know.
Don't become a dilettante. And now the next thing I want to talk about is listening to dilettantes. See, dilettantes are usually the loudest.
Oh, by the way, if you guys don't know, dilettante is a fancy way of saying amateur, someone who's just just skimmed the surface. And Tai Lopez's literal approach to reading is speed skimming. So his message is don't listen to dilettantes, don't be a dilettante, which I agree a lot with, but the problem is that Tai Lopez is a dilettante telling you not to listen to dilettantes. Once again, I don't know how you get away from the irony here. I would also say here, as an aside on the reading proposition, is that this idea, he calls it strip mining, like you're mining for gold. You only want the gold, only look for the gold in the book. And as soon as you get it, you like put the book down. You don't care about that book anymore. I think it applies to like a certain class of business book, but honestly, most self-help isn't about getting as many ideas into your head as possible, which I think is what he does. He like conflates just reading a lot of ideas with being really smart. But in actuality, it's internalizing those ideas and applying them to your life that is the only thing that matters. Which is why a lot of people can watch hundreds of high-class performers share their biggest ideas and they never become a high-class performer themselves, is because you can take in ideas without actually getting out of it what they're actually saying. You're not actually internalizing the ideas. And I think strip mining is the absolute way to make this mistake, is by not really spending time in the idea, like literally just like, oh my gosh, what's this? This is what his idea of speed skimming is. It's like, oh, look through the book. Oh, got that book. It's gone. That's the idea. It's a little dumb. I think there's a time for reading broadly, but eventually if I'm getting actually what he's saying, like you should actually read deeply, then that's not how you do it. So felt a little confused there. Now, if you find any of this ironic, you're not the only one. And I think the best way I can explain it is that you could actually learn a lot from Tai Lopez. I'm not joking. By watching what he does, not what he tells you to do. So I think if you watch his original ad, here in my garage, you could learn an amazing amount about sales and marketing from that, right? From that. If you actually read like Tai Lopez reads, because even though he obviously skims a lot of books, he is well read, I think you'd be fine. I think you'd do well. I think the problem is that what Tai Lopez does and what he says to do are two different things, which leads to a very interesting thing when you're watching him tell you his life advice. Because you're kind of like, oh wait, didn't you do that to us? Oh wait, aren't you using these tricks on us? Like take for example his part where he's saying don't be the sucker in the room, while talking to a bunch of people who bought some reheated set of ideas that were from a bunch of people that they should have just read instead of watched Tai Lopez's course.
What, beyond you just consciously going, I'm not going to be the sucker in the room, right? You make that conscious decision. It doesn't mean you won't be the sucker.
Like, I can't explain to you how funny this is to me that he's saying this, but okay, let's keep going.
Conscious changes are, well, like Freud said, the mind is like a iceberg. 90% of it is below the water in your subconscious. So, the Lollapalooza effect. Now,
He's really jumping around here. What he's quoting now is a Charlie Munger thing. Lollapalooza effect. Basically, it's the idea that cognitive biases stack on top of each other to produce a much greater result. Small biases can stack on top of each other. And he's going to basically say, don't do it. Don't avoid Lollapalooza effect moments, okay?
Talk about this a lot in the ultimate closing system, sales, greenbelt stuff. And you might not be in that. If you're in an entrepreneur,
another upsell.
You definitely should check that out because it's the best thing. You always lose at an auction. Think of what happens to you. You walk into an auction, there's a person on stage. Stat is the authority bias. So automatically, even subconsciously, they are perceived by your subconscious as an authority because they're literally physically above you. Then they're doing things like going once, going twice. They're creating scarcity and urgency. Like, ooh, if I don't buy this right now, I'm going to lose it. Even though it's something you've lived your whole life perfectly well with, perfectly well before you even heard of it. Still an influence on you. All these things added together create what Charlie Munger has coined the Lollapalooza effect. And the Lollapalooza effect is a force too powerful, a coalescing of multiple biases all at once. And that is why they say they don't even put themselves in that situation. It's not something you can build up willpower around.
Okay, so all of that to say, he's saying, look, don't get around things that prey on multiple of your cognitive biases because you don't have enough willpower to withstand it. It's just you're going to lose every time. This is what a webinar is, guys. This is what Tai Lopez's ads do. Is their Lollapalooza Wonderland. It's scarcity. It's appeal to social proof. It's like, look at all the testimonials. It's all of these things. Oh, it's pre-recorded live webinar, guys. This is all for you. I did this just for you. They're professional marketers. That's what they do. And so Tai Lopez, in a class that you got sold to with the Lollapalooza effect, is saying, don't fall for this effect. So again, we're left thinking, okay, Tai, what is this? It's like a course for suckers, how not to get suckered. And the first lesson is, well, you've already been suckered, so you're a sucker. It's like bizarre to watch this and watch him say like, oh yeah, you should try to avoid these situations if possible. Tai Lopez's webinars and all these marketers' webinars are the thing that he's talking about. And not only that, he's also simultaneously saying that you're the sucker in the room. So yeah, that's how I felt this whole entire course, rich with like sort of irony. And though he had some good ideas that like I agree with and I've internalized myself, they're all from books, right? They're all from books that most people, if you just go through the basic reading list of a self-help section, you're going to learn, or the basics of a business book section, you're going to learn. And this guy's basically projecting himself to be the authority on all these topics, despite reading just very broadly on all of them. And then he says, don't listen to dilettantes. So, I don't know. Take from that what you will. All in all, rating. Let's get to a rating. I think you guys get the picture. I would go ahead and give this, out of 5 stars, a 1.5. I would say you know, the marketing was overhyped. If you thought this was going to lead to a good life really quick, obviously it does not. So it doesn't fulfill its side of the marketing. It's just a bunch of like common sense frameworks that most people would know. I think the person who should buy this, though, I'm going to give you someone who should buy this. If you like Tai Lopez and you realize the marketing's misleading and you've never read the self-help section before and you want a broad swath of it, regurgitated through some long-winded rants, right? Maybe you have a lot of listening you need to be doing and you can't stand the voice of anyone but Tai Lopez. This might be a good course for you, you know? If you want to avoid the source material and just listen to Tai Lopez, this may be a good course for you. But for the rest of you,